Hello! We played today Sackboy A Big Adventure on the Steam Deck. This is one of the PlayStation titles that is also available on Steam. And we are here on the Steam Deck OLED with a 90Hz panel. We could theoretically take benefit of up to 90 FPS. Let's see if we get anywhere close that. And let's find out what are the best settings here to play on our little Steam Deck machine. So first of all, let's look into the initial setup, I would say. So, display. So we have here VSync enabled, as you can see. And let's take a look on the other settings. So the preset here is medium. Let's see what frame rates we get with that. So textures and dynamic shadows, etc. Anti-aliasing, everything set to medium. Render quality is 80%, so it's actually upscaling a little bit. Let's set that to 100% so that we have native resolution. And I think frame rate limit we could increase it a bit so that we could theoretically get to up to that 90 FPS also here for our 90Hz screen. And yeah, let's start with that. Let's apply those changes and let's take a look what kind of frame rates we get. So at the moment we are at around 78 FPS here inside the menu, but let's see what happens when we start the gameplay. So we are at native resolution with medium presets as settings. And let's start the first level. Alright, so we are at around 60 FPS. The cap is much higher, at 120 actually. Let's see where we get. 77 FPS. So native resolution with medium presets gives around 70 to 80 FPS it seems, which is pretty cool. Okay, let's increase that a bit. So instead of medium presets, textures very high. Oh, ray tracing. Let's see what happens if we enable ray tracing here. Very high settings. Let's select all the highest settings here. Additional effect lighting, ray trace shadows, enhanced object detail. So we are going to get a slideshow, I guess. Let's see. So basically native resolution and absolutely highest settings with ray tracing enabled now. And we are moving with 14 FPS. So probably not what we want to have to play really through this. Now it even went down to 10 FPS, 9 FPS, so single digit FPS now. And 8 FPS. So it even went down to 4 FPS now. Okay, let's adjust that again a bit, because we don't want to play with single digit FPS, I guess. So ray tracing is probably not a good idea here on the Steam Deck. Let's turn that down to ambient occlusion to high. Particle effects high, very high. Dynamic shadows high. Anti-aliasing high. Additional lighting, let's turn that off. Enhanced object detail, let's turn that off. Enhanced hair visuals, let's turn that off. Additional scene lighting also. Applies visual fast to Sackboy, let's turn that also off. So maybe the ray tracing here on reflection should also be turned off again. And I think that makes actually the big difference here, right? Turning off the ray tracing, and we are pretty good here. So we are now with, again, on around the 60 FPS. On pretty much high settings, native resolution now. Only ray tracing needs to be turned off. Like this here. And 60 FPS is pretty cool, I would say. So it depends if you would like here on the Steam Deck OLED to take benefit of 90 FPS, or if you're fine with having stable 60 basically, then high settings without ray tracing, native resolution is perfectly fine. And if you would like to take benefit of 90 FPS, then we will probably go back to the medium settings here. Maybe even ambient occlusion and particle effects low. Maybe the textures can be high. Let's see what happens with that. Dynamic shadows. And we could decrease the render quality to have a bit of upscaling. Maybe at 90 or 80%. Okay, let's see what happens with that setting. And yeah, just went up to 90 FPS. So if you would like to play here on the Steam Deck OLED with 90 FPS, this could be a good setting. A bit of upscaling, mostly medium settings as the graphical setups, and ray tracing obviously turned off. And you can play here with stable 90 FPS it seems. Pretty nice. So let me know in the comments what you will select. 60 FPS and a bit of prettier graphics, or 90 FPS. And well, I would say it still looks pretty cool. Let me know your choice in the comments.
You know what that is, don't you?
I think we're also getting to the end of the first level here.
Packed with pure creative energy straight from the Imagosphere. But you'll need more of them if you're going to make it up there. You are here to stop Vex, aren't you? Yes.
So let's skip for now this cutscene. Continue a little bit. Okay, level complete. Let's see, maybe still the next level if that has any effect on the frame rate. First time for some celebration here. And cheese. Okay, great stuff. So let's go to the world map. And then we select the best settings, at least in my opinion, the settings that I will continue with for the rest of the game. Let's move to the next level. See how we can get to the next level. So we need to unlock this. Okay, looks good. So here we can customize our Sackboy.
Hello, I am Zum Zum.
See if we have any further custom. Sackboy as banana for the next level. Okay, let's go there. See if we are still at 90 FPS here in the second level, and then I will adjust again a little bit to my preferred settings, what I then would call the best settings here. So at the moment we are at 90 FPS. I think I can live with a few frames less, but I will increase a bit here the setup. So I would like to play in native resolution. And let's put in some reflections, and I think with that I'm pretty happy then with this setup. So high textures and a mix out of low and medium settings, but at native resolution. Let's apply that. And then we are in between 70 and 80 FPS, I would say, which is pretty good. And it also looks pretty cool. And we are also now running the game also in native resolution, which is something that I always enjoy. And we're now up to 90 FPS actually again. So maybe just not as stable on 90 FPS as in the previous setup, but native resolution now. So maybe you want to increase actually still a bit more, but I think I'm happy now with this setup here to play through it. But yeah, let me know your favorite setup below. And I hope you enjoyed this video and enjoy this game, which is a pretty nice one, also available not only on PlayStation anymore, but also on the Steam Deck. So have fun and thanks for watching. Until next time.